I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, let's talk about Trump's State of the Union 2020, which he gave yesterday. So when people are watching this video, this will probably be gave 2 days ago. But I want to talk about breaking news that we just got in via Nancy Pelosi. Now, there's been a lot of videos all over YouTube, all over the internet and social media of Nancy Pelosi shredding the speech after the event. Also, as Trump entered the State of the Union, before he started it, he also snubbed Pelosi and didn't shake her hand. So that was great. And then Pelosi ended up at the end, shredding the speech. She made sure the television cameras caught that as well. And she has come out now with a statement. We just got this in literally 5 minutes ago. Let me read it to you, Alexander. This is via The Hill, and this is from Pelosi. Quote, "He shredded the truth, so I shredded his speech," Pelosi told House Democrats during a closed-door caucus meeting, according to sources in the room. Like she did the night before, she called his 90-minute address, quote, "a manifesto of mistruths," end quote. "You are supposed to talk about the State of the Union," Pelosi continued, "not the state of your alleged mind." Alexander, what do you think of that statement via Pelosi? And in general, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I think
to the State of the Union.
Well, let's just talk about Pelosi. I mean, I think that Pelosi needs to actually take a rest and perhaps a long holiday and reflect on the nonsense of all the things that she's been doing. I mean, first of all, how can you possibly expect that Donald Trump, who you've been trying to impeach, has spent 3+ years calling a Russian asset, and then say he abused power and abused Congress? How do you expect him to shake your hand? I mean, that's completely ludicrous. The second thing is, of course, Donald Trump is going to set out what he sees as the successes and achievements of his presidency, which is what he did in his State of the Union address. All presidents do that. Of course they do. They don't come around and saying, my policies have been a complete failure. I mean, what do you expect the man to say? I mean, that's just crackers. But I have to say this. I don't think that was a petulant outburst. That's the shredding of it. I think this is done entirely on purpose.
Planned, absolutely.
It was
planned.
Completely planned. And again, I think it just plays into Trump's hands, because here you have Pelosi saying, it's all, a tissue of whatever it was, fabrications or lies or whatever. What have the Democrats been saying for almost 3+ years about Donald Trump, which has turned out to be true? I mean, they said, that he's, in league with Putin, that he colluded with the Russians to steal the election. The man has been subjected to relentless investigation. His people have been subjected to relentless investigations. There's been this ludicrous attempt to impeach him. And I come back to what I've said many times: impeach him over literally nothing. And you have Adam Schiff standing up in the Congress, misrepresenting what Donald Trump's counsel, Alan Dershowitz, said, as we've discussed in another video, making crazy claims about, fighting the Russians over there in Ukraine so that they don't come and fight us over here. If Donald Trump gets away with this, he'll give away Alaska.
A parody of the phone call that Adam Schiff.
The parody of the phone call, exactly. And you turn around and you tell me, that this State of the Union address, you start complaining about the State of the Union address because you say Donald Trump touts his own policies. Really, as I said, I think Pelosi really does need a very long vacation and needs to sort of go away and think very carefully, not just about what she's said and what she's been doing, but about everything else that she's been thinking over these last couple of years. Because I'm sorry to say, I think she's completely lost touch with reality.
Yeah, pure projection when you read her statement. Everything that she said is just literally everything the Democrats have been doing for the past 3-4 years. They've destroyed lives. They've wasted money. They've pretty much almost destroyed the entire fabric of the U.S. government and the Constitution itself with these charades, these games, these mistruths, taking a word from Pelosi. And, Trump keeps on winning and he keeps on fighting back. And I was watching it real quick, I thought, God, I really hope and I really wonder if Bernie Sanders is taking some notes.
I'm sure he is, actually. Well, come back to this.
That's how you fight. That's how you fight.
Well, of course you do. Absolutely. You should do. I mean, tissue of lies and untruths. What about the Steele dossier? Wasn't that a tissue of lies and untruths? When is
that was the Mount Everest of lies and untruths.
When is Nancy Pelosi going to come round and talk about that being this great tissue of lies and untruths? Let's see her, standing up in the House of Representatives or the Congress and ripping that up. I mean, wasn't that the real tissue of lies and untruths? As I said, I mean, you're quite right. You're absolutely right. It's what we were saying previously in an earlier video. Bernie Sanders needs to learn how to fight back against this kind of thing, because we see no end of these absurd stories about Donald Trump. And for Nancy Pelosi now to come along and start saying those kind of things about him when he's the president of the United States, making the State of the Union address, which is supposed to be a big event, and she reduces the whole thing to a sort of level of farce in that fashion. That's the other thing to say. I mean, the entire world sees these TV pictures. What do they see? They look to the United States, they see the president speaking to the members of the Congress, and do they see a united country, with the chief executive and the two houses of Congress there? No. What they see are these ridiculous, grandstanding and posing and absurd gestures, all coming on top of these insane claims, about Donald Trump giving away Alaska. I mean, it makes a terrible impression. If I was an American, I would feel ashamed.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. You're weakening the country when you
absolutely
do these little antics like shredding the speech at the shredding the document at the end of the speech.
Yeah.
And the whole world is watching. And if you've made it to that pinnacle position, you're Nancy Pelosi. No matter how much you may hate President Trump, you should be on your best behavior for the good of the country. For the good of the country, because the world is watching. This is a big event. This is a tradition. Traditional event.
Absolutely.
You should be on your best behavior and show respect for the event, for the institution. Above the man. It's the institution. It's bigger than the man. And Pelosi turned it into a complete circus. Alexander, final words on Pelosi, and then get into the policy of the speech.
Yeah.
What you thought about the speech in general. My quick 2 cents. I thought it was a very good speech. I enjoyed it. It had very emotional highs, very emotional lows. I mean, he kept you off balance, which is a Trump specialty.
Yeah.
He's entertaining. It's great to hear him speak, whether you like him or not.
Exactly.
He really knows how to give a good, entertaining speech. The one point of the speech that I didn't like, even though I thought the whole thing was very strong and a big win for him, the one part that I didn't like was the Guaido part.
Yeah, I know. Well,
that's the one part that I was like, I understand the socialism thing, that he wanted to, kick the socialism thing and kick the squad a little bit, get that out there. But bringing Guaido in, I thought was not a good move. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
I didn't like it either. And to be very clear, there were lots of things in the speech I didn't agree with. But the question is not whether I agree with them or not. Always the question to ask with speeches of this kind is, are they politically effective? This speech, I thought, was politically extremely effective. He came out, absolutely. He came out strong, in control, on top of his game. he showed that he knows his own mind, that he feels that the momentum is behind him. He's won the impeachment battle. He's going to be acquitted in a few hours, overwhelmingly, decisively. We've had the debacle in Iowa behind him, which is, the Democrats have completely messed up in Iowa. They don't seem to get their act together. He's got a strong economy. He's got, a country that's moving forward, as he likes to say. And yes, he's obviously gilding the lily in a few places, making things perhaps look even better than they really are. He touts his own foreign policy in ways that I, in some places, would not, Venezuela being one. But, bear in mind, most Americans don't care about Guaido or what goes on in Venezuela. What they care about is the United States. And he's now pitching, this anti-socialism thing, which I think is going to gain a lot of traction in the United States. I know there are a lot of people in the United States who are becoming more attracted towards socialism, but there is still, I think, a substantial anti-socialist majority in the United States, and he's pitching to that. So, politically effective it is. I might not like to see Guaido there. I might think this whole thing with Guaido is a mistake, but politically, it's probably working for him. And that's what we need to understand.
It's a prop that worked. It's a prop that helped get his message out.
Exactly. Now,
Guaido was a prop.
Exactly. Now, as for Pelosi, can I just quickly say, if Pelosi wants to go away after the speech is over and disagree with it and even criticize it, that's all right. That's what happens in democracies. People of opposing parties disagree and criticize each other, and they criticize each other's policies. But this kind of clownish behavior in the Congress, whilst the president is there in the Congress doing his State of the Union address, well, I've never seen anything like that before. And all I will say is the optics around the world are going to be appalling. So, two takeaways. Firstly, Donald Trump is at the top of his game. He is heading now for a clear win in November. Secondly, the Democrats are all over the place. They are scoring own goals, to use a sort of British footballing metaphor, all the time. We saw that in Iowa, and we saw that with what Pelosi did. It was just not clever. And it sent all the wrong signals, and it will strengthen Donald Trump's position even more.
All right, and to continue on the football, the soccer metaphors, I think that the Democrats are in urgent need of a new manager. They need someone else to take over the team. Pelosi is defeated. You can see it in her eyes. She is broken. She is broken and defeated. Like you said, she needs a long vacation. They need someone new. And I'll even make another point on that note. She can't even get all her people at the event. AOC and Presley, I believe, didn't even show up. So they staged a little boycott of the State of the Union. If you are that privileged and that lucky to be in that position, and you don't go to the event, I don't even know what to say. It's actually quite sickening. It just shows such arrogance and you just don't appreciate what you've been given. And once again, it's not about the man. Forget about the president. Look at the event, the tradition, the ability, the opportunity to be there.
Absolutely.
And they sit there and they boycott, and then they get on social media and they start complaining about the speech on top of it. So Pelosi can't even keep her whole team together.
Well, no, of course she can't. The Democrats are all over the place. But to be absolutely realistic about this, Alex, they're not going to get themselves sorted before the 2020 election. The election in November, where I predict they're going to lose, and I suspect they're going to lose big. Maybe afterwards, some reality will start to dawn. But at the moment, they're all over the place. And I completely agree with you, by the way, about what these various representatives were doing. To be very clear, being a member of the House of Representatives of the United States is a enormously privileged position. You are a member of what is the single most powerful parliament in the world, based on the oldest constitution, written constitution in the world. That comes with enormous powers, and it comes with great responsibilities also. And those responsibilities include behaving properly. And that, it seems to me, was not you weren't seeing that in this event. I mean, the analogous event in Britain is the state opening of Parliament, which we saw very recently with Boris Johnson winning. And I mean, nobody from the Labour Party, for example, behaved in that kind of way, even though many of them are bitterly opposed to Boris Johnson and everything he does. But I mean, you'd never hear of anybody like that, nor would anybody act disrespectfully in the Queen's presence, even though, of course, the Labour Party is a socialist party. And many of the members of the Labour Party, including its still current leader, Jeremy Corbyn, are known to be Republicans, because that kind of behavior just isn't done. You don't do it. You can oppose, you can criticize, you can, promote your alternative philosophies, you can put them before the people and argue your case. But when you are in these kind of events, you behave accordingly if you are in that kind of position. And I mean, why would, if we could talk about, people like Presley and the others, why should they behave properly when their own leader, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is behaving so badly?
Excellent point, Alexander. Excellent point. That's their example, is Pelosi.
Yeah.
Pelosi feeds off of them, and they're feeding off of her, and they're all just acting like, I can't even think of a better word.
Well,
just like brats. Spoiled brats.
Spoiled children. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, it really was awful.
And it has nothing to do with Trump. If it was me, and I was lucky enough to be in Congress and Senate, I would go to an Obama State of the Union. I would go to a Trump. I would go to a Bush. Even if I disagree completely, as much as I would disagree with Bush and Iraq WMD and all the wars he created, I would still go, because that's my duty, that's my obligation, that's my privilege. It's an honor to actually be at that parliament, in that building.
You owe it to the people of the United States, including the people who elected you. And you owe it to the founders, the people who drafted the Constitution of the United States, which is why you have that position that you do. I mean, that they have set out a very carefully laid out balance of power, within the Constitution. And the Congress has certain assigned roles, and the people who are elected to that Congress, the Congress of the United States of America, need to understand and behave according to their responsibilities. Otherwise, the system doesn't work properly, and the United States is reduced around the world to ridicule. It begins to look like a banana republic. And I'm sorry to say this, I've already actually seen some comments circling around which are making exactly that point.
100% agree with you. Well said, Alexander. Well said. And I think this is the first time I've actually heard you say the word clownish as well.
Yeah, well,
describing Pelosi.
Well, yeah, yes. Well, I probably
clownish behavior.
Well, it was. I mean, it was clownish behavior that wasn't funny. So I mean, it was bad in every respect.
All right. We'll leave it there. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button down below. Click on the notification bell. Smash that like button. And also donate to us on PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar. Your donation really helps out this channel a lot, and we appreciate the donations. And we also appreciate it when you go to the Duran shop and pick up merchandise, magic mugs, magic t-shirts, and we appreciate all your purchases because we appreciate our audience.
As we've discussed a lot in recent videos, we make an absolute point in our shop of having the very best possible merchandise, because we feel that shows respect to our viewers. And this program is all about showing proper respect to people, when you are at a particular vantage. So our magic mugs, which have become famous, all our viewers who bought them, the feedback is just exceptional. They say what high quality things they are, which they are. They are amazing. They are beautiful. They are strong. They don't chip or flake. They don't discolor. I've had some of my magic mugs now for well over a year. They are in perfect condition. They're as good as new because they're of the highest quality, and they keep your tea warm and your beer cold, if that's what you like to drink from them, which I do. And so we won't just find amazing high quality magic mugs on our shop. You will find beautiful shirts like the long sleeve t-shirt I'm wearing now, 100% cotton with the Duran double-headed eagle there. That's as you'll also see on this magic mug. As you can see it there, it's our own. And you'll also find equally fine short sleeve t-shirts, polo shirts, v-neck shirts. I've been wearing my shirts also for around a year now, and they're in perfect condition. There isn't no threads are coming loose, there's no holes, nothing. I mean, they're in perfect condition because they are so well made. And you won't just find shirts, you'll also find hats and hoodies and stickers. You'll also find ebooks where we enlarge on some of the points we make in our videos on specific topics. And of course, we are providing you with these great things because we rely on you for our support. If you go to our shop, you're buying these great things and you're also supporting us. So don't hold back, go to our shop, buy these great things, support the Duran, and Alex will tell you how.
You'll find a link in the description box down below, theduranshop.com. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.